The sun set over Ogun village as mourners gathered at a public burial ground. Chief Adebayo checked his expensive watch repeatedly. Is this ceremony not finished yet? I have important business. His wife, Mama Tunde, lay in a simple coffin, about to be buried among the poor. Tunde, the eldest son, asked, Papa, why bury Mama here? We have money for a proper monument. The chief laughed harshly. Your mother was a poor farmer's daughter. She brought nothing to this marriage. Every wrapper on her back, every meal she ate, I provided it all. The crowd gasped. The village women whispered. They remembered Mama Tunde's kindness. But the chief continued, this public cemetery is good enough for her background. Why waste money for a woman who contributed nothing? Kemi cried, Papa, please stop. Mama loved us. He snapped, quiet. I am a self-made man. Your mother just enjoyed the fruits of my labor. A figure appeared on the path. Baba Ogunleye, 93 years old, the wisest man in the village. When he spoke, people listened. Chief Adebayo, I have something to say before this woman is buried. The chief frowned. This doesn't concern you, Baba. The old man's eyes sharpened. It does. I knew your wife before you did, and I know things you clearly do not. Sit down, all of you, Baba Ogunleye commanded. 42 years ago, Adebayo was not a chief. He was a broke university graduate with nothing but debts. His father had died. The family land was sold. He had nowhere to live. He met a woman at the market, Adenike, called Mama Tunde. She sold vegetables from her father's farm. By age 20, she had built a thriving business supplying 3 markets, known for beauty and brilliance. But what you didn't know, Adebayo, her father wasn't just a farmer. He was Chief Obileye, one of the richest men in Western Nigeria. Gasps erupted. Impossible. The chief shouted. Baba Ogunleye continued calmly. It was a test. Chief Obileye had 7 daughters. He made them dress simply, work like common farmers. So any suitor will love the woman, not the wealth. Chief Adebayo owned 3 rubber plantations, 2 cocoa farms, investments in Lagos. When Adebayo asked to marry Adenike, her father tested him. My daughter works on a farm. We have no money. Are you sure? And Adebayo said yes. The chief's face went pale. He sat down heavily. On the wedding day, Chief Adebayo revealed the truth. He gave Adebayo 50,000 naira, a fortune then, to start a business. One condition, never tell anyone where the money came from, and always honor your wife. That 50,000 started your trading business, but that wasn't all. Who gave you connections to Lagos merchants? Chief Adebayo. Who guaranteed your bank loan for trucks? Chief Adebayo. Who opened doors for government contracts? Chief Adebayo. Every step of your success was built on her family's foundation. Kemi sobbed. Why didn't Mama tell us? Baba Ogunleye replied. She kept her promise, never boasted. Even when her father died and left her an inheritance, she refused it. Give it to my sisters. My husband provides well. She protected your father's pride. She believed in honest work. Money never changed her heart. How do I know this is true? The chief demanded. Baba Ogunleye pulled out a leather envelope. Bank statements from 1984. Letters of introduction. The deed to this very land. Read them yourself. Tunde's hands trembled as he opened it. Papa, is this true? Tunde's voice shook. The chief couldn't speak. All these years you said you were self-made, that Mama came from nothing, but it was her family who made everything possible. Femi found a letter from grandfather to Mama. I hope your husband appreciates the treasure he has. If he forgets, these documents will remind him. Old villagers spoke up. I remember when you first came here, Adebayo, wearing borrowed clothes. Mama Tunde's family fed you for 6 months. When you had malaria, who paid for medicine? Mama Tunde. When your relatives refused to attend your wedding to a farmer's daughter, Chief Adebayo's family made it grand. Baba Ogunleye stood before the chief. I watched you grow into a man of means. But today, you disgraced yourself. You said your wife contributed nothing. The truth? Without her, you would have nothing. She was the foundation. You just pretended you built the house alone. Why didn't you tell us, Mama? Kemi whispered. Baba Ogunleye spoke. Your mother gave me a letter before she died to read only if your father dishonored her burial. She hoped it wouldn't be necessary. This letter is for her children. So they read, My dear children, I came from wealth, but chose your father when he had nothing, because I saw his heart. Success changed him, but I never regretted it, because I got you. Learn from your mistakes. Never forget where you come from. Honor those who help you rise. Respect everyone. Most importantly, forgive your father. Pride is poison. Help him remember the young man who loved a simple farmer's daughter. I ask to be buried here with my friends, the real people of this village. Tell your father I loved him until my last breath. Not a single person had dry eyes. The chief collapsed at the coffin. Adenike, forgive me. I was a fool. You gave me everything, money, connections, love, and I repaid you with arrogance. I told our children, you brought nothing. When I brought nothing, you were the treasure, and I was too blind to see it. Your wife forgave you before she died, Baba Ogunleye said. But forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. What will you do now with this knowledge? The chief looked at his children. I will honor her by becoming the man she believed I could be. She wanted to be buried here among her friends, so here she will rest. But tomorrow we start using our wealth the way she would have wanted, to help others. Tunde asked about a trust fund. Baba Ogunleye nodded. Your grandfather set aside money for each grandchild, enough to start any business, pursue any education. The ceremony proceeded, no longer rushed or shameful. The pastor spoke beautifully about Mama Tunde's kindness, wisdom, and love. The chief addressed the village. I am sorry for my cruel words. She was not lucky to have me. I was blessed to have her. Mama Shade spoke for the village women. We are not happy with how you spoke about our sister, but we see your tears are real. Mama Tunde would want us to forgive you, so we do, but we will be watching. Let your action show your change. As they lowered the coffin, each child made a promise. Tunde, I'll use my education to help others rise. Femi, I'll run the business with integrity. Kemi, I'll teach my daughters to be strong and wise like you. The chief whispered, Adenike, I will spend my remaining days proving I deserved your love. 3 months later, The village noticed changes. The chief established a scholarship fund and training center named for his wife. He sold his expensive cars. The money built a medical clinic. People whispered, "He dresses simply now. He speaks kindly." Perhaps the lesson took root. 1 year later, the public cemetery had transformed. Where wild grass once grew, now a beautiful garden flourished. The chief had renovated everything: benches, shade trees, maintained paths. On Mama Tunde's grave, Adenike Adebayo, she gave everything and asked for nothing. Her legacy lives in hearts she touched. The chief addressed the anniversary gathering. 1 year ago, I claimed my wife contributed nothing. Today, I know she contributed everything. I cannot undo my words, but I can honor her memory by living differently, remembering that true wealth isn't what we owe, but how we treat those who help us to rise. Baba Ogunleye spoke. You have learned what many never do, that behind every successful man is often a woman whose sacrifices remain invisible. Your wife chose love when she could have chosen power. That's true nobility. Have you changed inside? The chief met his eyes. I'm still learning, Baba, but I will never stop trying. 5 years later, Adenike Foundation had sent 50 students to university. The clinic delivered 200 babies. The training center helped 300 women start businesses. The chief, now white-haired, walked without bodyguards or expensive cars, stopping to talk with ordinary people, remembering their names. A boastful young man came seeking Kemi's hand. I have 3 cars and 2 houses in Lagos. I can provide well. The chief smiled sadly, seeing his younger self. Sit down. Let me tell you about pride. About a woman who had everything but pretended to have nothing, and a foolish man who almost lost his soul. The children and grandchildren gathered to listen. Success isn't about what you owe. It's who you become and how you treat others. My wife taught me that, but I was too proud to listen while she lived. The young man's cockiness melted. I thought I was doing your daughter a favor. Now I see I need to prove I'm worthy of her. The cemetery became a pilgrim site. People came from other villages to see the garden and hear the story. Schools brought students to learn about pride and humility. Churches used it in sermons. Market women taught their daughters. The cemetery became a living classroom, and Mama Tunde was still teaching. Kemi married a humble teacher, not the boastful suitor. At the wedding, the chief said, "My daughter chose a man who reminds me of who I should have been. He doesn't have money, but he has character. My gift to them. Never let pride make you forget those who lift you up. Honor each other always." 10 years after her burial, a dying Chief Adebayo asked to visit her grave one last time. He touched the headstone. "Adenike, I tried to become the man you deserved. I'm sorry it took your death to open my eyes." Tunde knelt beside him. "Mama would be proud, Papa." The chief died peacefully that night. Hundreds came to his funeral: students, business women, patients, villagers. He was buried beside his wife. His headstone read, "He learned humility too late, but not too late to change." He spent his later years honoring the woman he took for granted. Baba Ogunleye, over 100 years old, spoke. This story teaches us that pride blinds us to truth that we take for granted the pillars holding us up, that it's never too late to change. But most importantly, it teaches us about grace. Mama Tunde chose love and protected her husband even from himself. That's the kind of grace that changes generations. Today, the Adenike Foundation still runs, managed by the chief's grandchildren. Students read on cemetery benches at sunset. Young couples walk the paths, talking about their futures. And the story is still told in homes, schools, churches, markets. Everyone who hears it learns. Never let pride make you forget where you came from. Honor those who help you rise. True wealth isn't money, but love and respect. In the end, we are judged not by what we accumulated, but by how we treated those who made our success possible. May we learn this lesson before it's too late. May we see our treasures while they are still with us, and may we never be so blinded by pride that we forget the people who made us who we are. Pride blinds us to who really holds us up. Honor those who sacrifice for you. Their contributions may be greater than you know. It's never too late to make things right.